Shields up, Ironbreakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video. Welcome back to another episode of the Third Fleet Podcast. Gaijin, what episode is today?
I don't...
That's the best
no
part.
idea.
I have no idea either.
Is it 69 yet?
That is actually, people were talking about 69, that how many weeks were left for 69, but we're getting close now. I think that this one should be 64, maybe. I see that there was a 63 like 2 weeks ago because we haven't been doing episodes every week. Because we
got stuff to talk about.
You're addicted to Final Fantasy 14, goddammit. Jesus Christ.
To the point that before the podcast started, I was telling you about this crippling sinus headache that is like a knife above my eye, inside my bone, inside the nerve, and I can't. It's been horrible. And you tell me straight out that it's a lack of sleep.
Yeah, it's sleep deprivation. I have those migraines all the time because kids don't let me sleep, and then I wake up and bad migraine. It's really bad. I actually got checked at the doctor once because of that, because it was so bad. I'm like, okay, there's something wrong with me. And then she was like, no, you're just prone to having migraines. And I was like, well, that's great. Thanks. I love those news. That's exactly what I needed to hear.
Yeah.
But yeah, we
that's
had
your
the
fault. So I'm going to call this the Ruri head cake.
The Ruri head cake.
I just so everyone knows, I just took an hour nap, so I'm still a little out of it because of my lack of sleep. I was like delirious, so I took an hour nap, and I'm still.
I don't think it fixed it.
The Ruri head cake. Yeah, I don't think it fixed it.
I don't think your 1 hour fixed it. But we had the day before yesterday. Was it the day before? When was it? Was it yesterday? I don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
It was the day before yesterday.
No, yeah, the day before yesterday.
Time is a strange thing when you have
for us in
small
Japan.
children
To
deal with.
it was 48 hours ago. Not quite.
Yeah, but we had the May digital event, which came with a lot of interesting news. I was expecting a couple of more things. We'll get into those, but let's get started by, obviously, we're probably going to go in order as to the stuff that was revealed. I have my notes for the video that I did afterwards. So the first thing that they showed is new Malzeno footage.
That monster looks so damn fun. Oh my lord. Like the way it moves, and this is the one thing I knew that they were going to show because it's pretty obvious, but like the way it moves, the crazy ass turf war animation it has, the usage of its tail to slap on you, the cloak, how it uses its arms, it gives me Gore Magala vibes.
Those are wings. It's not a cloak.
No, I said that it's wings that it uses like a cloak. Like the animations are really well done, where it swings them around as if it's sort of like a hand with a cloak.
Mm-hmm.
And the little flying Kezu, I'm just going to call them flying Kezus or flying gigs. They are adorable.
I've seen like some art that somebody put up on Twitter with where they had like wing glider wings or something. It's just a tiny little Kezu flying with some.
Then again, it can't be Kezu. Sorry, it should be gigs from Giganox because it's little bloodsuckers with the open end face. Yeah, I saw that same art. It's adorable.
So those are little flying leeches. It makes me think that from the animations that we saw during the presentation, that like, so the idea is he bites the monsters because like monsters in Monster Hunter, most of them have thick hides or scales or something like that. In the case of Rathalos, naturally scales. So he has to bite to get the blood flowing, but then the little leeches make sure that there's no blood going to waste. Because if you see a vampire movie, right, they'll bite somebody, and then there's blood flowing all over the place. They can't suck out all the blood because just like the blood is flowing, and it seems.
I thought it was different. I thought it was, how do you suck the blood out of hunters without like literally blood expressions or being like caught into a grab? I was thinking that it was like little parasites that come in, little mosquitoes, and they bite you, they stick on you, and then they go and they give it back to him because you see them attached to him. Yeah. And they're sort of transferring that energy over.
I think that for the hunters it can be like that, but if you notice the way that they did it in Rathalos is he actually bites down on Rathalos, and then they kind of congregate around that area of the bite, which makes me think that they're just making sure that no blood is going to waste to power up Malzeno or something like that.
But could that mean that if you try to invoke a ride in order to make that fight easier, that you might cause a turf war, and then he powers up? I don't know. Could be fun.
I don't know if he powers up through Turf Wars because they only talked about him powering up with engaging in the battle. In English, what they called it is a battle of life force between the Hunter and Malzeno. I don't know what they called it in Japanese, but I was thinking to myself, battle of life force, because he gives you blood blight. There's a chance of you getting blood blight, and we're not exactly sure which attacks trigger blood blight. But essentially, blood blight gives the most mechanic that I instantly compared the two was Bloodborne. And Bloodborne, when you get hit, you can hit the enemy's back instantly to regain health. It seems like while that debuff is up, you get to regenerate health by attacking the monster.
Yeah, and it's great because you lose it if you don't, which means it reminds me very much of the... In a vein, it's like mixing in the Horgor Magala Apex vibe, in that they're trying... You've got a very aggressive monster in front of you, and they're trying to egg you on to have like a head-to-head, right? They don't want you playing safe, and that's a great way to do it, is to say, okay, well, you're going to start losing health. You better get in there and start punching it, you know? So I think that's going to be a really intense experience.
I just hope that they take into account the slower weapons that can't afford to be as aggressive as some of the other weapons in the game. Because that is something that, you know, becomes a bit of a pressure point at certain points in Rise and even in World, because there's some weapons that have a lot of setup to get going.
Yeah, I didn't read the English webpage, but it covers it actually in the Japanese one at least.
Oh.
It says that when you get hit with this blight, you lose all natural recovery, so all that red damage is just, it's flat out. You lose it. It also starts depleting your health, and it also reduces the amount you recover from items. So you can't mitigate it by just popping a bunch of potions. And
I mean, you can still heal according to what they say. So, but bleeding does that as well, if I remember correctly, right? If you get bleed, then you can't heal as efficiently. Wasn't that a thing in the older games?
I don't know. I always just squatted and got rid of it. But
yeah,
they say that when you attack the monster, you recover health according to the amount of damage that you dealt, is what it says on the website. So that would compensate for great swords and hammers, and not gun lance, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was. I deal the least damage of all the weapons. How's this fair?
Good luck.
Oh yeah, but yeah, it's an interesting status for sure. Like I said, I do hope they take into consideration these slower weapons, because it can become a problem, and not just slower weapons, but weapons that have a significant amount of setup before they can actually attack. An example of this would be in Iceborne, for instance, because with a gun lance, you'd have to pop the worm stake before you could actually attack. I mean, you can attack without it, but your damage is going to be really bad. So, you know, they have to take that type of stuff into account, and, you know, also weapons that require buffs to their attacks and stuff like that. They have those temporary buffs that you got to do. So we'll see how that pans out, but definitely looks like a really exciting fight. And I'm curious to see the power-up version of Malzeno, which they didn't really show, but the transition looked friggin' amazing. Right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The way that he just puts the, like you were saying, the cloak, but it's actually the wings, and then you can just see the red in his eyes, and he flashes out. It's like he's got like something going on in his neck. Not sure if you notice it, like some kind of a red thing in his neck when that pops out. But yeah, I'm curious to see what he's gonna be doing with all of that.
Yeah, he or she, depending on how the story plays out, it's going to be a really exciting... I mean, I know they're calling them the Four Lords, but we don't know. It would be nice
the three lords, not four.
3 Lords, sorry. My brain is on Generations still, but it would be nice to have someone next to Gammoth to represent, so to say.
But
Malzeno is just, so cool. And I saw some people confused. The status effect that you're getting here, this is not the same as Seregios. This is... or should I say Seregios, Mr. Sir? That's a different debuff. So
they were confusing the blood blight with the bleeding on Seregios?
Yeah, the bleed blight or whatever it is, bleeding, or I don't know what they call it.
The other thing was the turf war. You had already mentioned it before, but geez, the turf war is so incredibly violent with Lunogaron. He just literally stabs it with his tail, drags it through the ground, then throws it in the air, jumps up, grabs it in the air, and tosses it in the dirt again. It's like,
that's
Jesus.
not a turf war. That's a beatdown.
Yeah, he just straight up delivers a beatdown. It's like, we're the three lords, but I'm the one that rules the roost or something.
I'm the one on the package, damn it.
I'm the flag. We might be the three lords, but I'm the flagship, okay? Understand. Please understand. But immediately after the Malzeno stuff, they come out with Seregios. Seregios shows up chasing down a Rathian, and he looks a lot shinier than what I expected. I didn't think that he would be this shiny. I guess that he never was like that in the previous games because of 3DS limitations, maybe, or something like that. Yeah. He wasn't very shiny, and this one is so shiny. It's almost like he's chucked full of chrome or something. What's going on here?
Yeah, I like it because, I mean, the scales are supposed to be razor sharp, right? That's the whole point, is that when those little pine cones go out and they hit you, you're supposed to be bleeding, and he just looked a little bit more chunkier, a little bit more fluffier, like, more volume to him, which I really liked. He looks great. And if they're bringing back his special weapons, oh my god. I'm going to have so much fun with my light bowgun is back, baby. Back on the menu. It's going to be so good.
What did it do for light bowgun? Reload?
When you did a sidestep, it reloaded bullets.
Oh, damn, dude.
Oh, God, that was so good.
That is straight up busted. It's like with weapons, it did the sharpening thing, obviously, but it makes me wonder.
It took like 4 or 5 evades, yeah.
It makes me wonder if they're planning on doing multiple things like that for different weapons. We already have some things here and there in Rise. Like you look, for instance, at how Valstrax's weapons synergize with Valstrax's gear, because when you get Dragon Blight, I forget what you get, Dragon Heart or whatever it is, and then the weapon deals more damage. You also have, I think that not Malzeno, Magnamalo's one does the same thing. If you get his debuff, it also deals more damage. Now you would get, potentially, whenever you do the dodges with Seregios weapons, you'd get sharpen or you get reloads.
Maybe with they can balance it by saying, like, maybe because of the weapon skill system and how it changed, they can say its strength or how many evades it takes depends on how many pieces of its armor you have on or something.
Actually,
they can find a way to balance it.
I was just thinking about this. Due to the fact that we have the ramp-up system, then it's probably going to be a ramp-up skill, which means you'll only get it if you select that specific rampage skill, most likely.
Probably, and that makes a lot of sense, if it is.
That would also work. Because all the other examples I gave were also ramp-up skills, so I'd expect... But it'd be cool to have more unique ramp-up skills based around some of these new monsters. I'm assuming that we'll also get something... We're probably going to get life regen from Malzeno. Like, that just feels like a natural thing that will occur. Life regen, which means that a lot... But I was about to say, which means that a lot of people are going to be running life regen, but not really, because you'd have to be using Malzeno's weapon in this case. Which is actually an elegant solution to the situation that we had in World, where everybody was running, I think was it like 2 attack plus regen or something like that most of the time.
Yeah, they have more options now to do a little bit of tweaking to balancing than they had previously, which is good.
Let's hope they do good balancing, because it would suck if everybody's just using Malzeno's weapons. Oh, Malzeno's weapons best, life steal, let's go, and nobody uses anything else, so... We'll see how all of that stuff pans out. But definitely Seregios being back is a good thing. And even though Cyanator had been announced, I'm not sure if they had confirmed that the bleed status would be back. I mean, people just assumed
I believe they did, yeah.
They did? Okay.
I believe they did, yeah.
So, but with Seregios, if in case there was any doubt, it's like there's definitely going to be bleeding back. Like, don't even consider anything else. It's definitely going to happen.
Squat.
And it's cool to see him back.
Time to squat, man. Time to become Zach. From FF, do our squats.
You think we're gonna get Dango Jerky or?
Probably, yeah. I can imagine there'll be a food solution for that.
There's gonna be a food solution.
I'm old school. I just like to just crouch and watch the little. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I squatted down. I let the wound heal. It's like a bad tummy ache or something.
In World, it lasted long enough where sometimes squatting was not always the best solution, which is why I started using a lot of Astera Jerky closer to the end, depending on...
I didn't even know about Astera Jerky until the Alatran fight.
Jesus Christ.
I'm like, what is that? They're like, oh, you need it. I'm like, I don't even know what it does. So
Steroid jerky removes bleed. Real good. We're going to get Elgato jerky. People are saying it's going to be Dango. I hope it's not Dango, dude. Our hunters can only consume so much sugar, all right? There needs to be a point that there's a limit in sugar intake. Our hunters are going to get sugar rush, and they're going to get the runs in a really bad way.
And stuff.
Muffins? No, meat.
Yeah.
We need meat.
Biscuits.
Meat and fish and,
Sausages.
protein. Yes, exactly. But yeah. So after Seregios, we got Aurora Somnacanth, which is an ice subspecies of Somnacanth. And I was just like, I don't know. I was not the biggest fan of Somnacanth because it's such a pushover monster. You basically just wail on it and it dies so fast. So I don't know what they can do to make it better.
Well, if you noticed, I'm hoping that they go a little overboard with the AoE effects, like they were showing off a little bit of in the trailer, because its movement itself is actually pretty easy to deal with. It reminds me sort of like Najarala in the way that, and I'm still not giving up on Najarala coming back, by the way, because it moves just like it. I think they planted the seed. So with it slithering around and stuff, the movement's not that complicated, and the hit zones are juicy enough that I think if they double down on the ice, especially if they give it like defense down as a debuff, because that's always something I like about Master Rank, is that defense down is like...
You can say G rank, it's fine. It's not a forbidden word.
the what do you call it? The defense down kills more people than I think any other blight besides stun, because it really makes you take a lot of extra damage, and monsters that cause it, people don't think about it.
It can't be
down.
It can't really be an ice attack though, because for Rise, all of the ice attacks they do the wire bug regeneration debuff. That's what they do. So I wouldn't.
Maybe
if it has like different things, which would make sense because Somnacanth has access to Flash, has access to Blast, has access to a bunch of different stuff. So maybe Aurora Somnacanth can have access to some kind of like acid shell or whatever, and it claps.
Maybe I've been playing too much
defense
FF
down.
and like I'm too much in love with the mechanics of boss fights in FF. But I think it would be cool if it had some AoEs that you can't avoid unless you wire bug over it. Like it's a huge wall of ice that's coming at you, and you gotta, almost like Tetris or whatever, you gotta jump over it. So if you don't have a wire bug, if you're abusing it, then you're kind of screwed.
I can see that happening because you already have in Rise multiple attacks that require the use of a wire bug. So for instance, when Ibushi does his attack where it throws you in the air, if you don't wire bug out of it, there's a follow-up. When Malzeno
I think if every monster had
you,
it would be better.
Yeah, when Malzeno grabs you and then launches you in the air as well, if you don't have a wire bug, there's a follow-up, you're going to get smacked. So there's plenty of attacks like that, so I can see something like that being a thing.
Yeah, I hope they double down on it, because that would balance out some of the superpowers that we have as a hunter, I think, is if there's a cost, for just abusing it. I think that would be great. Maybe the wire bugs just get exhausted and they just like, okay, now I'm overheated, like leave me alone. But getting the buff is never fun as a player, so having it where like, okay, well there's gonna be a dangerous attack where you can tackle it if you have it, then that would be a solution,
Yeah, but I agree. It would be good if monsters have more situations to deal with the hunter power that the wire bugs provide us, because clearly Capcom is going into this direction of people in my stream are even calling it Monster May Cry. But we'll talk more about that as we get to the ending of the news itself. But yeah, that is a very interesting thing. But yes, I agree.
Hey, do you want to know the Japanese name for the Aurora Somnacanth?
Go ahead, shoot.
The Somnacanth subspecies.
I don't
know if anybody realizes that in Japanese they do not give it a descriptive name. They just put the word ashu at the end, which means subspecies. You don't get any descriptor. So
Somnacanth ashu, done.
Ashu, yeah. Well, it's Isome ni Kuni is its actual name in Japanese. So Isome ni Kuni ashu. That's what it is. And even for the rare species like the silver and gold, we don't call them silver and gold. They're just, Rathalos Kishoshu, which means rare species. So it's like Diodeus Kishoshu. That's it. So that's one area I like about the localization is that they give, usually based on color.
Azure would be
Diodeus
Ashu.
Ashu. Yep. Diodeus Ashu.
And then the other one is the rare Hashu.
Yeah. Diodeus Kishoshu. Boom. It's yeah. So it's always fun for me to see the names in English afterwards and be like, oh, okay, that's neat.
Aurora Somnacanth. Yeah, people need.
Yeah, the Aurora.
People need to get like a more descriptive term. But after the Aurora Somnacanth, they brought something.
My boy.
I was just like, you could have deleted this monster, not put him in the game.
Dude, it's like one of my favorite in the entire game. And everyone hates on him.
I'm actually joking. I don't mind fighting Almudron. The one thing that I do mind is that I swear to God that his drop chances are different from other monsters. So like it's way easier for you to get, say, a purple orb from a what's it called? Magnamalo?
Speak for yourself.
Dude, no, it is 1,000%.
It's RNG messing with you. It's RNG messing with you because like I cannot get Magnamalo orbs, but I can get Almudrons like
it's
free.
Not just messing with me then, it's messing with me and all of my friends because everybody that I play with, they all agree with me. It's
and
like I can
how
get
many of
orbs
those people
from...
complaining? Wait. How many of you guys actively love this monster though? Probably none of you. I think that's the difference.
I mean, I don't love him, but I don't hate him either. Like I've gotten used.
There's a love factor. You gotta love him in order to get his.
You gotta love him to get his drops. Yeah. That's how that works.
If you don't like me at the this, you can't have me at the that. Kind of thing. Like if you don't like me muddy, then you can't.
Okay.
Halfway in the ground, then you can't have my orbs.
No.
What is it called in English? The Magma.
Almudron. So I'm assuming in Japanese, Almudron Ashu.
Oromidoro is his Japanese name.
Oromidoro
Ashu.
Oromidoro Ashu.
I love the name. The name has a very rhythmic sound to it, doesn't it? Oromidoro.
Oromidoro, yeah, it has a rhythmic sound.
Yeah, Oromidoro Ashu. Yeah,
Oromidoro.
I love it. But okay, I'm gonna say this though because I am a huge fan of Agnaktor, especially Glacial one, to the point that it was on my top 5 monsters of all time video that I did years ago. I love that monster and its little clappity clap with its jaws and everything.
I like the clappity
I think it's coming in this game. I do not. I see people going, "Oh, rip," or he's not coming because this sort of takes his spot. No, I don't see it. I completely think we're gonna get Agnaktor in this game.
I was not a big fan of people calling it Discount Agnaktor. I was like, hey man, come on, man. It's like, what the hell?
It's his own thing.
Almudron is his own thing.
And also like Agnaktor doesn't fling magma out at you like as projectiles. Where
he's got laser.
Almudron is going to be like he's going to be swimming in and throwing out magma all over the place. It's going to be fun.
I mean, I'll wait to see. Again, my biggest wish for Almudron is like, let me actually chop that tail. I want to chop it. I want to see a big chunk of meat coming off of that tail. That'd be so satisfying. But no, they're going to give us a little. What did I call it? I'm not going to call it the same thing I called it last time. Let's not.
I have a theory on why they did that. Why they did that though. My theory is the team cares a lot about the reason why the animations are so good in Monster Hunter games is that they take into to a certain account. I mean, it's a fantasy game, but they do take into account inertia and body weight in a lot of the animations. And a lot of its moves are based on the fact that it has a heavy bald tail and it uses it to swing its body and twist. And I think without that tip, the animations would look ridiculous. Like, I don't think they would look, would feel off.
That's why I said they should just change the way that he moves afterwards. Like, he should be clumsy after he loses his tail.
Completely different monster?
Yeah, and shoot blood at you. Remember how I said he should just shoot blood at you first? Weaponized blood. I'm going to bleed on you until you die.
One thing I was disappointed a little bit from the original Rise was I was really hoping that if you were to grab a Mizutsune and go over and start hosing him down, that it would like create a hugely advantaged situation for like 30 seconds. Like, yeah, okay, we're hosing you down, buddy. Like, that's, oh, shit. I mean, he becomes like half naked.
Technically speaking, it does, because water blight has the effect that you deal more damage or something like that. So technically speaking, it does give you an advantage, just like not something specific. But it would be cool if there was some special interaction there. It's like, why are you trying to wash me down? Same thing with potentially Baroth. That'd be cool as well. Mizu and Baroth, because they're all muddy boys and whatnot. That would be cool. But Magma Almudron, I do think that I like Magma Almudron more than the water version, because fire is much more appealing to me than like all of the mud and all of the other stuff that he does, and the golden mud that bleeds you, and it's like, what is this mud laced with piss?
You bad.
Yeah. But another thing that they mentioned, which I kind of feel like this should have been expected in a way, but they feel the need to mention it because, again, there's a lot of people that came new into the franchise back in 2018 in Monster Hunter World, which is also the reason why I did the video that I did yesterday, where I go over like how many monsters people can expect for this game, because there's still a lot of people that don't understand what an ultimate, despite us talking constantly about it in the podcast and in videos, there's still a lot of people that don't understand what a G rank expansion is, where, for instance, during the event, I specifically said, there's going to be people that are going to say, so 9 monsters, that's it, that's all we're getting.
And you know what? I have to think that most of those people are just trolling.
No,
they can't be legit.
They're not. Like, dude, sure enough, I received the comment in that video of someone legitimately saying, so you're saying I can't criticize the game because there's only going to be 9 monsters or something of that nature?
I can't believe it. I mean, Monster Hunter, every iteration of this game ever, the trailers, even for this game specifically in the expansion, every trailer, every news drop reveals a little bit more. And there's like, here's 2 more, here's 3 more, here's 2 more, here's 3 more. And it's like,
I'm hoping they don't do that this time.
People you know what? At this point, I would normally tell you, no, that's what they do. But at this point, as we discussed last time, their marketing strategy for this one is changed. So different that anything is possible. But it's like,
I'm happy they only how many monsters they reveal in this one, in this particular presentation. So there was Aurora Somnacanth, Magma, Seregios, and nothing else.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. 3.
So they revealed 3. I had predicted they were going to reveal like 7.
Yeah, I thought
that's what I would have expected.
I thought they would talk more about the returning monsters outside of Seregios.
Yeah.
I was fully expecting like Hongalalas to be running around and stuff like that, but they're focusing on just a few, like one returning big boy and like 2 subspecies per trailer.
I would be super happy if they don't reveal a single other monster. Like, just show us, switch skills, stuff like that. Show us potential. I think that you think there's going to be a new look. I mean, we should save the speculation towards the end because we still have so much to go through, right?
I'll just say, like, I hope they do that. However, I have zero faith in the gaming communities around the world, and so I think I would rather have it revealed in an awesome high-octane trailer than for someone to just put a data mined picture on Twitter.
Oh, that's what you're talking about when you, because like, I don't like the
someone's going to release it to me, I want to have it with impact.
I get it.
And there's no chance in hell I'm going to get to the game. Yeah. Because unless I have early access or something crazy, there's no way I'm going to get in the game and see it and be, or the average person is going to be surprised and see it in the game for the first time. Unless you completely go offline, I don't see how that's possible.
It's like the reason I was a little bit taken aback is because I have a serious problem with sometimes overgeneralization that people do with gaming communities. It actually triggers, like, for instance, there's a ton of people that will go out and just say, oh man, Souls community is so toxic. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, yes, there's a couple of bad apples, but a majority of the community are actually really cool. People say the same thing about the Monster Hunter community, the World of Warcraft community. Like, every community that I've been a part of in gaming, people will usually go up to that community. It's like, oh, these people are so goddamn, all of them, I hate them.
And then you drill in and you find out that they saw maybe knee-jerk reactions from 10 users, like 3 from Reddit, 2 from Twitter, and it's like, okay, out of how many millions of players who play this game? Like,
yes,
you have to bathe inside of a game for months in order to get a grip on the community, and you have to be active. And after time, then I think you can make a general statement. But even then, you're still in your bubble.
Yeah,
you've got to realize that you
There's
could just be on bad pages. You could just be in bad groups. You could just be sub into the wrong accounts. Like, there's always bubbles.
But that's why when you said gaming communities, I was like, hey, what the hell? But no, you're talking specifically about data mining and stuff like that. And yes, yeah. I'm not a fan of data mining.
Day one, I'm sure the boss fight YouTube account will have the last boss on thumbnail.
Yes.
You know, so
as they do, just like straight up put a boss into the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Like
no,
I
don't
still
have any.
We're how many months into the release of Elden Ring, and if you go to my channel, you still will not find a boss in a thumbnail. I mean, you might find what was his name, Margit, but that's because Margit was in the closed network test. I think I might have used his face once, but that's it. Because I just refuse to use boss faces and thumbnails, and I lose tons of views because of it. But it's like at least
people
it preserves,
don't have a choice.
Yeah, at least it preserves the experience for the people that want to eventually see it for themselves. And I just wish more people would be considerate of that with the data.
And this is why you're my virtual husband in Final Fantasy. The respect. That or I just wanted a dress.
Yes, one of those two. But moving on, the thing that I was going to bring up was they announced that the base Rise monsters are getting a couple of new moves added to their repertoire. Which is, again, like I said, I think most of the community that knows how Ultimate expansions work and G-Rank expansions, we all expect stuff like this. But again, there's always new people coming in.
Well,
so
what's nice this time is they specifically showed skills that are not in the Master Rank versions of the existing. Like, Tigrex has a Master Rank version, a G-Rank version of him. So they're not just talking about the new moves that came with that transition. They're talking about moves that are new and specific to this game. So I thought that was cool. Like the bite and spin, I've never seen that before.
The bite and spin that he does, that, and Agnaktor gets the somersault and whatnot, and you can expect new moves for pretty much most, if not all. We need more yeeting, dude.
More yeets.
I want to see something crazy from my boy Tetranodon. That's what I want to see.
Oh,
I want to see what G-Rank Tetranodon's going to bring. It's going to just smash everything.
Call me a believer, though. I still think Zamtrios is coming. I would bet Zenny on it. Like, I don't know. I see a lot of people reacting weird. This just might be the people I follow, but I see these like, oh my god, they didn't announce Gormagala. Oh my god, like Zamtrios rip. I'm like, guys, they're focusing on the new subspecies and one really, top line monster who's returning. Like, there's plenty of possibility for a lot of monsters to be returning. Heck, Giganox maybe. I don't know. We have got little Giggies now running around sucking blood. Maybe we could have we have Giganox back. I don't know. I have hope. I'm a hopeful hunter.
We'll see how that stuff pans out. Now, another thing was, and this is the one that I have some questions for you, followers. Now, followers seems extremely interesting. The fact that you're going to be able to go on quests with the NPCs, both from Kamura as well as the NPCs from friggin' Elgato and all of that. Particularly the Gunlance one, Master Arlo. Dude. Master Arlo looks like... And he's got the coolest looking Gunlance that I've ever seen in my whole goddamn life, dude. Like, that Gunlance looks so brutally gorgeous that... Yeah. So I'm super excited about it, but there's questions around this, which obviously you can't use them in multiplayer. So this is going to be a single player only thing.
It's not for all the quests. It's like a special series of quests.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, if the Japanese version of it gives you any more insight, because the way the English version made it sound is that there's going to be, like you just said, a specific series of quests called follower quests where you go on with these characters. There are people that are theorizing this could potentially be for village quests, so like all village quests, which would make sense if you think about it, because, village quests are single-player quests. They don't interact with other multiplayers. And it allows them to tell a more focused story when you have these characters actually going on hunts with you. Like, how many people would like to have done quests with some of the Ace team, right?
Yeah, I think the question will be the ratio, right? Because obviously it's a type of single-player village quest. So there will be village quests that you're not with other with other characters, but I'm curious about the ratio. Is a vast majority of these going to be joinable by NPCs that you can gradually unlock. Like maybe like because there's characters that you don't really know and interacted at the beginning. Maybe once you do, they can then be chosen, sort of like the system in Final Fantasy. They can be chosen as your companion when you redo a quest and you don't have cutscenes. Like maybe they can join you. Like there's a slot and you can just choose who you want to go with. I don't know. If they make it too limited, I will be very sad because I think it's a fantastic idea. Like being able to hunt alongside Minoto. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like and the new renders. Oh God, they're so good. I lost my proverbial shit when I saw that. I was like, oh, rewind.
So with the Japanese version, they don't give you any further details on that. It's just like follower quests and that's it.
Yeah, the English website is really weird. They call it the follower collab quests.
Yeah, follower collab quests.
Why would you call it a collab quest?
Yeah, the collab part
like, what is that? It's like
weird.
a collaboration with Pokemon, or I'm collaborating with Minoto now. I don't like. They just call it a follower quest. Don't call it a collab quest. That's just weird.
But in Japan, they called it follower quest then.
It's a different. It's a made up phrase that they have, and it's more about like. It's almost like an alliance of courage, like teaming up with other hunters. I can't really give a good translation for the name, but yeah, they've got a new noun for it at least. But yeah, they're saying that they're special quests in which you can go on with players from the story, and they are single player only. So it doesn't specifically say that these will be village quests; they're just special quests. Yeah, I mean, they could be hub as well. As far as we know, there could be hub follower quests, right? Like, there could be village follower quests.
It can't be hub follower quests because hub are, technically speaking, always multiplayer. And these quests will be single player only, so they can't be hub.
Then, yeah, they are village then.
I'm thinking it might also just be something that you'll unlock after you do... It's either going to be, as you progress through the village, you'll start doing these, which I think is what would make the most sense, or it'll be like an endgame system.
It might be. I mean,
one of the
they haven't seen here. You'll be able to earn exclusive rewards in these quests.
Yeah, people were saying
in
my stream, they were saying that potentially you would be unlocking their weapons and gear.
Oh my God! Can you imagine if this is how you get their armor and stuff?
Yeah,
that would be great.
That would be great.
I would like don't make it all DLC. Give me a chance to earn it in game. I don't care if they bloat it where it's like. Complete 100 quests with Minoto, follower quests with Minoto to get her armor, or something.
Maybe don't bloat it that much. Not everybody's gonna.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't mind. Like
that.
There's incentive there to be had, and I love the idea.
So long as it's not do the same 5 quests over and over. Yeah, I'm down.
Oh, exactly. It has to do with the amount of quests that they have, right?
I'm gonna fit. Listen, this is gonna be the first time that I will have somebody else playing a gun lance next to me. Because it never happens. I'm going to play with Master Arlo because he's the only one who plays a gun lance.
So what's interesting is that they really opened the door for a lot of these, though, because they say, at least I'm not looking at the English website, but the Japanese website, probably the English as well, talks about, like, you'll start to unlock characters that you can bring with you in these quests slowly as you play through the main scenario of the game.
Yep.
And each character uses not only their specific weapon that they use, but they also have their specific type of play style that they use. So it makes me think that we could have 2 Lancers. We could have 2 Gun Lancers. And maybe that, because we have, like, the duality seems to be a big thing, right? You got, like, the switch skill set 1 and 2. You've got all these things. So it could be kind of cool, like, if maybe we have, Minoto is, like, the one set of, like, switch skills and stuff like that, and then the other lance or whoever that might be will have the other ones, and so they'll be slightly different. That could be fun. I mean, watch out! Palicos, man. They're gonna take your spot as the new companion if they're not careful. And they also said that they will have multiple characters from Kamuda, so that tells me, like, the dream of going out with what's her name and her heavy bowgun,
Yomogi,
yeah. Hunting with her could be a reality, which would be fun.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that, dude. Be able to take Yomogi, and would be cool if she had like, there's no Wyvern heart in Rise, right? I think there's only Snipe, or is there Wyvern heart? I don't. No, there is. Never mind. I think there is. I don't play heavy bowgun. You can tell.
Enough.
Neither of us play heavy bowgun. But
I mean, I've played sticky heavy bowgun, but I've never. Played.
Of course, you've played sticky heavy bowgun. You and everybody else.
Everybody else, exactly.
Bunch of degenerates.
I'm willing to admit when I don't know.
Yeah. But
this to me is the biggest announcement of the event, actually.
The followers?
To me personally. Yeah. The idea of being able to hunt with these characters. So, like, think about it. Like, we went to a point where they were just standing there and we talked to them and they were cool. They didn't even have their own names, most of them. Then we go into Iceborne and, World, and all of a sudden characters have names. They have personalities. They have, more in-depth roles. That's cool. But even then, we still had, like, the Admiral or the Handler. Like, we want more personality. We want to interact with them. That's one of the things that made the Ace Hunters so fun, is because they were characters that you interacted with. You had some quests in which they were right next to you. They would pop up during cutscenes, and they were on their own trajectory. Like, now we've got full names for everybody, and we're going to be able to have them in the story, and we're going to be able to play with them. I love it. Maybe people will think it's a small gimmick and they'd rather just hunt with other players. Maybe we'll get people screaming, "Oh my God, they're going to kill the multiplayer scene in Monster Hunter because everyone's going to be hunting with Minotaur," which is not going to happen.
I mean, ultimately,
I love it. It's a good idea.
I don't think that this replaces other players, because if you're playing with friends, you're still going to want to play with friends. It's not, I don't want to play with you anymore because I just want to play with Minotaur. It's like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Yeah, because these are their own quests.
Yeah. But for players that like to play solo, this is a nice addition for them. And I think it's particularly important because with the Nintendo Switch, obviously, if you want to play online with other people, you have to play Nintendo Online, and not everybody can afford that, right? Or not everybody wants to even do the subscription thing. So unless they're next to somebody else to play in ad hoc mode, they're kind of screwed. They really are mostly playing by themselves. So it's a nice
so I hope they
pace.
do what they did in the old games, which is like you would not have like the G rank or the master rank monsters in Village until like in like Generations Ultimate. If you went through all the sidechain quests in the Village, you would then there was ways to unlock, let's say, a G rank monster in the Village, and that would be an opportunity for people who don't go online to play against and get those materials. Like, they could do that with follower quests, I think, and that would be cool. Like, if you do all the sub-quests and you do all that, then you can unlock a version of them. Yeah. Provided that you've done it online, I suppose, but, like, yeah, that'd be cool.
But so you're saying that this is your favorite feature
from this event? Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is my favorite feature. It's definitely a feature that I'm very curious to see its implementation. It's a feature that scares me to a certain extent, particularly from the point of creating guides for the game and whatnot. It's going to be exponentially harder with the Switch skill swap when you think about it, because you're going to be able to, with the Switch skill swap, they announced
Go ahead. Sorry, finish your thought.
They announced not just the fact that you're going to be able to swap between two sets of Switch skills, but on top of it, there's going to be 5 total Switch skills, including what I would call the signature Switch skills, which were the one that you couldn't change. So in Longsword, this would be Serene Pose that you can't change, which is the 2 wire bug counter. And the Gun Lance, this would be the Guard's Edge, which you can't change. In the Lance, I think it was Twin Vines, if I'm not mistaken, right? Twin Vines was always there, I think. But yeah, every weapon would have something. With the charge would be Advanced Morphing Slash. With the Sword and Shield, it was the one where it yeeted you forwards. I forget the actual name of it. But yeah, every weapon would have these signature moves. Now you can change those as well, on top of changing everything else. And you can have 2 distinct sets of Switch skills that you can swap between on the fly in the game. First thing that I thought of was Sakura Slash and Helmbreaker. What are you doing? That's insane. The Soaring Kick and Sakura Slash, people were very quick to tell me, well, yeah, but there's wire bugs. And I'm like, well, yeah, but still, you just go to red with 3 Sakura Slashes,
And then you swap over to your big one.
And then soaring kick, and then swap, and Sakura slash. You don't even need to do counters anymore. You just keep swapping and going. Like
Not to mention that, swapping you would think would be, like you'd be stuck in a big animation or something. No, they've actually made swapping like Valor mode. Like you get the special evade when you do it. So it's like this is Hunter May Care. Hunter May Cry, sorry.
Hunter May Cry. No, Monster May Cry. Monster
May Cry, yeah. It is. And I've saw some people drawing parables to Neo in the stances, but I think that was different because that was not an optional thing. That was integral to how you took down certain
Do you think that this
enemies.
Is going to be an optional thing?
Yeah, because it's still monster, and you can kill anybody with any move. You could just take one move of a lance and kill any monster if you just know how to deal with them. It's not like Neo where it's like, no, if you don't use a low hitting stance move, then they're going to just kill you. Like it's all the moves have always been optional, so I don't think you have to engage in this. Of course, I think it's beneficial if you do, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's not necessary. So I don't think it's more like Neo. I think it is like Devil May Cry. I think the things that are going to be possible in the hands of really good hunters, Team Darkside, it's going to be disgusting. It's going to be crazy. And I want to see the monsters dial it up. But then again, I don't want them to raise the floor.
They have to.
The skill floor.
They have to.
Too high. They have to, but
they
not
have to.
too high. No, but they have to, right? Otherwise,
but the thing is, it is going to be high. It is going to be significantly higher, and there's no way of going about it because people might think, but what about the newcomers? Newcomers are gonna have to, as they say,
there's months on a rise.
They're gonna have to get good. Like I'm really sorry because if just think about it like this. What is one of the biggest complaints that a lot of veterans have for Monster Hunter Rise? It's too easy. People talk about it all the time. Game's too easy.
I think they're going to make this one.
There's not enough challenge.
Juicy.
If they don't raise the skill ceiling and at the same time give us all of these tools, it's not going to be too easy. It's going to be just straight up a cakewalk. You're going to demolish everything you encounter because I really don't think that a lot of people can even begin to imagine the potential of switch skill swapping because it's just going to be, you're going to have two super powerful moves, actually more because we're going to get new switch skills as well, but you're going to have at the very least two super powerful moves that you can do at any given point that are going to have their own distinct advantages depending on which situation you're on. So, if they don't scale it up, if they don't make things harder, like it's going to get really nasty really fast.
Yeah. I want to make a comment here and just, I don't know if Capcom is trolling us, but what the heck is it with these hard to say phrases and names? Like, come on, make them shorter.
Switch skill swap?
Skill swap scroll. Like, are you kidding me? So wait, so
say
if you save
it,
is it gonna be a switch skill swap scroll set that you can save?
Yes.
Like what are they doing here with these tongue
switch
twisters?
Skill swap scroll set.
It's crazy. Like stop it with the S's. Like you don't need to have that many. It's really hard to say.
Let me tell you all about my red scroll switch skill swap set and my blue scroll red skill switch.
I mean, we're going to have to get better like pop filters for our mics. Otherwise, we're going to be floating everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much. Pop.
It's going to be horrible. You got swap, evade, switch skills, silk bind, sunbreak, switch skills, swap scrolls. Like, stop it with the S's, please. My God, Seregios.
I was thinking that potentially the dodge might have been a little bit much. I was already thinking that there should be kind of a cooldown when you're doing. Yeah. There needs to be some kind of a thing that controls it. But according to what they're
making it a buff.
Yeah, I always thought, okay, so you switch the skills, there's going to be some kind of like a downside. So they're like, nah, you switch the skills and you dodge at the same time. It's like, wait, what? What are we doing here? This is insane. Like, I really do feel there should be some kind of a cooldown, something to kind of keep the monster, the hunter's power in check. But they're going all out. They're going Devil May Cry, and
which I think is great. This is the best opportunity for them to push it as far as they can because this is the Street Fighter Alpha. Yeah, I mean, so like Rise decide to say, okay, what if Monster Hunter was even more of an action, like crazy action driven game, and now they're going to double down on it? Like, let's see what that looks like. Let's have fun. So I'm completely fine, because I mean, I think they may push it too far in some areas, and that's fine too, because you'd only get progress and you only advance the formula of your franchise when you try new stuff. I saw no mention of Rampage in this one, which was interesting. Makes me think maybe maybe they're not, they're just trying, maybe the thing this time, instead of Rampage, they're doing scripted, quests with NPCs. Maybe that's the big thing. I don't know. I don't know if they're talking about few, or if this is going to be a major feature. I don't know.
I believe we're still getting Rampage, but I'm not 100% sure. I would rather not, to be honest. I'd rather, hey, look, just Rampages, they were a little bit too easy. It wasn't really what we had in mind, and the community, didn't really care too much for them, so we're going to move on to something else. But it is, like you said, this is kind of like their one chance to really go all out with the amount of mobility that they've given hunters, the amount of tools that they've given hunters to really just go balls out with craziness, especially like with the switch skill swap system, which is, again, 5 different switch skill setups that you can swap on the fly, super fast, with a dodge included. It's going to go wild. I'm looking at the GIF
of it, and it is ridiculous how flashy that dodge is after you switch. And can you imagine if evade distance, the skill, applies to this? I'm going to be playing dual blades all day.
I'm telling you right now, I'm already seeing it as somebody who plays Gunlance. There's a big advantage to being able to, out of nowhere, just going to pop, because you can do it with your weapon drawn. So I'll do it just for the dodge, because there are so many situations with a Gunlance where you're just locked into a corner and you actually can't move, because say for instance, an Apex Zenogre, especially the emergency one, like the emergency Apex Zenogre will just lock a Gunlance user into a corner, and you're just locked there. There's no tools for you to get out. You're not going to parry every move that he does. You're not going to, if you have enough stamina and guard 5, you can kind of block and hope for the best, but you're going to be locked in if he puts you in a corner. And at that point, I'll just be like, well, I'm going to just dodge away with this switch skill thing, and boom, done.
You just made the switch sound effect.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, Switch. They're really laying into the whole idea that this was originally on Switch, like crazy. It's funny.
I got
the PC will be coming out same day, which is good. But
I got some bad news, Gaijin. I'm a main it on PC, dude.
Nice. No, I don't blame you. It looks good on PC,
dude.
But
we'll talk about it.
I can see some people. I can see some people concerned, like, weapons are losing their personality. Certain weapons that didn't have mobility now have it. I think they're just gonna sacrifice and say, let's see what it looks like, though. Let's make it all. I honestly think every weapon's gonna have a counter by the end of this. It would not surprise me.
Yeah.
Because now every weapon will have an evade because of this awesome switch skill evade, and you could do it forward, backward, left, and right. They show it on the website. It looks crazy. All hunters will probably have an ability to do a counter. Longsword will have like 50 variations of that, I'm sure.
Something like that.
But I'm really interested to see how now they're really. I can't think. My imagination cannot think of what more they can do with the hunter. I mean, you can fly, you can jump, you can change direction midway through the air. You can do crazy skills, fly off mountains, backflip on demand, counter. I want to see what they're going to do to the monsters, and I hope that they put enough work in. Besides just like a chomp and a spin, I want these monsters to be on steroids. Basically, I want them to be crazy.
This is something that I'm very concerned about, which is, are the monsters going to be able to keep up? And this is another reason
they need to.
Why I want to play on PC, because I'm telling you, and I'm going to make a video about this.
Frame rate.
It's not just the frame rate. It's like monsters are harder on PC. Like because again, I have 500 hours on Switch, and I've been playing more and more on PC recently, and I can tell the difference. I can tell the goddamn difference, and you can't prove me otherwise. There's no way that these monsters are not doing better on PC. And not just the monsters either. It's the monsters and the palicos. Like, the stuff I've seen my palicos do on PC is wild. And I've never seen them do that stuff on Switch. People told me back then when I first came up with this theory, they were like, yeah, there was a patch that improved the AI. It's good on Switch now as well. It ain't the same. I can guarantee you it's not the same. And this is not me being like, oh, master is. I don't care about any of that nonsense.
Yeah.
I really don't. It's just the way, I'm just calling them like I see them. I play on PC, I play on Switch. I notice distinct differences, and not just even tracking, because people were theorizing, oh, they have better tracking because of the frame rates. Yes, there's that, but it's not just that. The behavior of the monster feels different.
You know what I'm really curious now that I'm looking at the GIFs on the website is Nargacuga does a tail slam on a longsword user, and they use the switch skill evade to. It looks like they just had it. They preempted it and they didn't get hit. But if this thing has iframes as well, oh my god, it's gonna be nuts.
Pretty busted. If it's got iframes, it's pretty busted, dude.
Yeah, but so I mean, you're right though. It's gonna make the expansion harder to approach for new players.
Yes.
But I think at this point, they're probably saying, you know what? The people who are going to buy this are not going to be new players primarily. So
most
let's
of the
cater
people,
to the hardcore audience, and let's just double down on what we're trying to do here. And see
I
what
hope
happens,
so. I hope it's really hard. I hope that they're like, you guys were saying that Rise was easy. Let me show you guys.
I want to
hold my beer
10 times to an Agnaktor, you know.
Yeah,
I want to get yeeted out of existence. You know, that would be fun.
Yeah, I hope that it's going to be that level of stuff. I already think that just through the nature of its complexity, it's not going to be a particularly welcome expansion to brand new players because it was already more complex in Rise because of switch skills.
Yeah,
which is something that you've never had.
The mechanical challenge is much higher.
And now you have switch skill swap with additional switch skills. So people are going to have to get better at managing their builds. And on top of it, knowing when to use which switch skill. And I think that is a good thing for people that are used to playing the game. But again, it is not going to be particularly easy for newcomers. But then again, that's why we're here. We're going to be creating all kinds of guides and stuff. The Monster Hunter veteran community, they'll all be creating guides. So we'll make it as approachable as it can possibly be. Yeah. I do hope that it's very hard.
They can't run in the middle. It won't work.
Yeah.
You either be too OP or it's going to be a mess. But I think there's potential for this to be a very different feeling Monster Hunter game.
As a matter of fact, if you think about it, that could be the reason why we're getting the follower quests. Because that'll make it more approachable to newcomers, because there will be two hunters in the quest. And the monster's not going to just be focusing them all the time. So that's their way of practicing it. Yeah, that's their way of practicing and learning so that when they go to the hub, then they'll be more prepared for what is coming.
For teamwork.
That's what I would expect, but we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. Then they talked about wall running without wire dashing. We already knew about this one. You can just run up a wall and just press I say R1, but it's R1 or R on your Switch controller, shoulder button on your Xbox, run up the walls.
That's a welcome quality of life.
And they confirmed the thing that we theorized a while ago, which is Wyvern riding is no longer mandatory. I think this was the first time they officially confirmed it, right?
No.
No? What do you mean?
They confirmed this on Twitter months ago.
No. That was not a confirmation. They showed us the elements, and you and we started talking about how potentially there wasn't going to be mandatory Wyvern riding, but there was no official confirmation as far as I can remember.
There was a tweet, at least in Japanese, there was a tweet where they were talking about it, and on the screen was an option for auto mount or not.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's when you and we theorized this could be a thing.
How is that a theory, though?
Because they didn't confirm that it would be optional.
Well, there was a toggle. So,
yeah, that was a toggle I didn't see that as an official news. Confirmation, but
for me it wasn't news. So I was like, okay, well, we know that.
Now they officially confirmed that you don't have to do Wyvern riding. So what do you think is going to happen here? They didn't really show us a good example. They just show the hunter wailing on it while it's in rideable state.
Yeah, how's it going to work, right?
Yeah, because you can't leave the monster throughout the entire duration of the rideable state for the hunters to wail on, because then there's literally no reason.
I imagine they'll just cancel it.
Yeah, right? it'll break out of it. I'm kind of
curious. I'm very curious how they're going to change it, right? Because if you can initiate it by a button press or whatever, then I get it. Like for for like single player, but like multiplayer could be a mess, right? Because
Yep.
if whose setting takes precedence at that point, right? Is it going to be something
It's
that
going to
you
be
set
individual.
in the room setting?
No, it's going to
Or
be
is it
individual.
going to be individual? So like if I'm going for a mount, but the guy, you know, is the crazy dual blade user who won't stop swinging even though he's not even in demon mode, you know, I get him into a mountable state and he just, you know, or I throw a puppet spider and get him mountable and someone just goes up and starts whacking him. Like, are we going to lose the mount?
Yes.
That will be kind of frustrating.
Yeah, it will. Like you'll have to figure out between each hunters how you want to handle that. I feel like, but basically in random rooms,
like, will it be the hunter that triggered the mountable state that decides?
No, it's gonna be because it's an individual control setting. So if
I don't know how it's gonna work online.
What do you mean? You know exactly how it's going to work. We just don't know how people are going to feel about it. So say, for instance, if I have the setting that I keep attacking the monster and not mount it, and you have the setting to mount it instantly with one attack, if you throw the puppet spider, but I'm attacking it, I won't mount it. If you run up to it and you attack it, you will mount it. But I won't, because in my settings...
What if you...
In my settings,
okay.
I have the thing that says... No, I don't want to mount automatically. I want to have to sheath my weapon and press
maybe
A.
This is my old man brain not grasping it. But let's say like I want to go for a mount, right? So I throw a puppet spider at a Narga, and then you run up and you just hit it. But you've got the regular setting on. You have the turn off auto mounts, right?
Yes.
So like, does that just ruin my puppet spider?
No, it won't instantly ruin your puppet spider. It'll still be mountable for whatever duration they allow people to hit it for. But if I hit it fast enough, yeah, you will have to get to it in time to mount it if you want to mount. Because again, this is with us assuming that if a hunter chooses to whack on it, then they're going to end the mountable state faster. Because if they don't, then it's overpowered as hell because the monster's just going to sit there for almost 30 seconds or however long that thing's lasts.
Yeah, what I'm struggling to envision is a lot of times the mountable state is not something you purposely do. A lot of times is a monster runs in and gets smacked by the other monster and they're instantly mountable. Mm-hmm. And if that's a really good opportunity to get items, right? Because you mount them and you get more drops. And if I just keep game paired with people online who have turned that off because everyone says it was a horrible feature, even though everyone's different in how they think about it. Like, if everyone's just going to start ruining every mountable opportunity, that could be really frustrating.
Yeah, that is what's going to happen because, again, assuming that the mountable thing gets reduced when you hit it, keep hitting it during the mountable state. So basically, if you want to mount, you better be quick about it because otherwise somebody's going to cancel him out of it and just keep beating on it. At least this is what I'm assuming, but I don't actually know.
Yeah, it'd be nice if I haven't thought this through, by the way, so I could be stating very bad ideas. But like, what if it was a room setting? Like when you decide to host a room, you decide,
host decides. Yeah.
Yeah. Will it be instant mountable or will it need to be triggered?
I think that would be an elegant solution, but the thing there is that you are taking choices away from players. So say, I don't want to mount, but you're the host and you decide, no, you will mount. It's like you're taking control away from me. So it's going to have to be a per player setting. There's no way around it. Yeah, but
some of these things, like in practice, maybe will not be an issue. I don't know.
It's going to be, I feel like, the same thing that the community had to deal with when there were people that were instantly capping and there were people that didn't want it to capture. So, it's going to be kind of the same thing. You're going to have to communicate. Yeah. Hey, it's an online game. You have to communicate. You have to talk to the other people and figure out what you want to do. Yeah. So, but again, it is going to be I think that a majority of the veteran players will probably turn it off. Like, I will turn it off simply because I want to be able to have the choice. Because there will be situations when I will want to mount, and there will be situations when I don't want to mount. Like, to give you an example, if I suddenly trigger a mounted state, I don't want to mount. Like, if the monster's alone, I don't want to mount. However, if the monsters are fighting and they trigger a mounted state, I do want to mount. because then I want to beat the other monster to get additional materials. So to me, I want to have that option, and that's the way that I'm going to be playing. And I think that a majority of people will probably be playing like that as well. I think a majority of people won't even engage in a mount even during 2 monster fights because they're probably running dung bombs or something like that, which is something that I don't run. But, it's going to be each player is going to have their own style that they're going to have to deal with. But there will be friction in the community, I think. I think there'll definitely be some friction in the community. But then we have, I was basically going frame by frame and trying to find as many of the new weapon mechanics that they showed during the trailer. So one of the things that I identified is the insect glaive has the, what did you call the thing where you throw it and
Extract
it gathers?
Hunter?
Yeah, I think it's got Extract Hunter because essentially you get to throw the Kinsect, at least they show you throwing the Kinsect, and then I think it's going to get the 3 extracts, but I don't know if that is the case or not.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And then there's the other one, which is also from the insect glaive. They do something in the air, like some kind of a strange move, where it kind of spins the glaive and the Kinsect is there, and I don't know what that is triggering. So there's a weird one for the gun lance that has me really excited. Not sure if you noticed that one, which is a gun lance blast dash special shot combo. So this is a really weird thing. So what happens is the hunter aims the gun lance backwards like you do when you do blast dash. He blast dashes, but midway through the air, the gun lance folds, starts charging a special shot from the place where you usually reload, and then he lands it on the monster, fires, and I was like, what is this? He fires the gun lance with it folded open as when it reloads. And that special shot is, you can do that outside of this combo that I just said with blast dash, fold in half, special shot. You can do it outside where just like, instead of doing like a Wyvern fire, I'm not sure if it replaced the Wyvern fire or not. It's the closest thing that I can think of. The gun lance folds, and then there's a big blast coming straight from the cannon, and boom. And I'm not sure. But you can do that
during a dash?
I don't know if it's like a special switch skill. I don't know if it's a special blast dash. But yes, you can do it in the middle of a blast dash, which is, again, it's the same thing. It has me wondering, how the hell is this even going to work? Yeah. It's insane. But yeah, I think it might replace Wyvern Fire, but I'm not sure. But it's definitely a really cool looking skill, and I'm super excited for that one. But it ain't no AA flare, which made me sad. They did not show AA flare. So I think we're getting that thing instead of AA flare. So we'll see what that is. But yeah. Then
very cool.
I have a lot of stuff for longsword because longsword is what they showed the most. So one of the things, I'm not sure if it's longsword specific or if it can be done by anything, where you essentially see the hunter, like it's almost like you don't actually see a wire bug. There's only like 3 frames in the animation almost, so you can barely see what's going on. But the hunter does something with his hands, and then you see silk bind spinning around him, and he has a longsword equipped, but I don't know what that is. It's just you just see a circle of silk bind around the hunter, but I don't know. If anybody knows what that is, if you're a longsword, let us know in the comments, but I saw that. Then there's a new longsword combo. So you know how you have the, the spirit slash combo that you get? Then you have the one which is the spirit reckoning combo, whatever the hell they call it. There's another one that's different that is different from those two, at least from what I can tell. And then there's some kind of new yaya tech, I think, because they kept showing it during transitions where the hunter would do a yaya attack, but they would have flames behind them, red flames. So again, no idea what that is.
This is one of the rare moments I've only seen the trailer twice.
This was not in the trailer, I don't think. This was like several different moments during the actual digital event where they showed different things, and I just collated all of them to figure out all of the different things. But yeah, that's the longsword stuff. Then heavy bowgun, I think it's going to have siege mode because they show the hunter like kneeling down and shooting. So that's probably siege mode. What did siege mode even
Good luck.
do?
Yeah, I said good luck with that. With the monsters is running around fast, like good luck.
You're gonna need something that you know how there's the what's it called, distraction or whatever, where monsters will attack you more often. You're gonna need the opposite of that, which I don't think that's even in the game. You're gonna need the opposite of that to do siege mode, or maybe siege mode will be really fast. Like you'll pop on your knees and then
immediately again.
Done. Yeah, might be something like that. Like you'll buff one or two shots and be done with it. Then we got what looks to be chaos oil for the sword and shield. Not sure if you've seen that animation where it just draws a shield and you can see white flames coming out of it. That could potentially be chaos oil, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty sure that most sword and shield mains out there is super excited for chaos oil. The hammer is getting a silk mind attack that's essentially the spinning attack from the hunting horn.
Oh, nice.
You didn't notice this?
I shouldn't. I watched it. I was like, that looks so damn cool. And then me and went back to Final Fantasy. we were in the middle of doing extremes, and yeah.
So the hammer's got the silkbind spin. I think that the dual blades are getting a new base combo. From what I could see, you could see them moving in a different way that I can't really identify from any of the other combos. The bow is getting some kind of special silk mine shot, which actually attaches like a silk mine rope to the monster, and it stays attached.
So like the dual blades. Like
you
throw in a kunai in the monster.
Kind of like the dual blades, but it's much more pronounced because dual blades is like a thin wire, right? This one's just straight up a thick, like thing that is attached to the monster while they're firing at it, and it seems like they're doing other skills while that thing is attached. So I'm not sure what kind of effect that does. The light bow gun got some kind of like a retreat shot, where basically they shoot, and then as the person is falling back from the recoil, they use a wire bug to pick themselves back up. They showed a new greatsword power up, which is different from the usual like power sheath, whatever they had. It just powered up the sword. But again, it was very quick. It just shows them powering up the sword with the blue animation.
So a little taste, they got you.
Yeah, just a little taste.
May 16th.
And then the switch axe is getting a new discharge. Some kind of new discharge. They showed all of that. Those were all of the switch skills that I was able to identify. But
damn, that's a lot. I didn't know if I was gonna do a analysis this weekend over the video and then put out my thoughts in a video form on my channel. I probably should. Before wait for the weapon stuff to come out and then just start going through them, because it'll be kind of weird to be like speculating and then 3 days later they release a video on 2 weapons and everything. I was like, I wonder what. No, I know what it does. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, that is pretty much everything that they talked about in the event itself, in the digital event. And the thing now is, like, I was expecting them to tease what was one of the biggest community complaints, which is some kind of an end game loop. Like for them to just give you a little bit of a taste of what you can expect to be doing, or at least even just outright tell you, okay, we're going to have this system in place where you're going to be able to grind for this or grind for that. And I know that they haven't teased anything like that before. It's just mostly because the community was so outspoken in regards to that.
Yeah, I think that'll be the last thing to talk about. But like sort of like the guild quest, they did that with 4. They waited until the ROM was complete and went gold, and then at the completion party, they started talking about guild quests. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's sort of like in June, like 2 weeks prior to release, that's what they start to talk about is some new sort of, end game loop, so to say. That wouldn't surprise me. I think it's still a little early because, I mean, they still have a lot of monsters to go through. They still have some subspecies of the new monsters from Rise that they haven't shown us, right? Or have they shown them all?
I don't know, because we don't know if they're going to do subspecies for everything. Like, we only have...
Oh, they always do for the base monsters, don't they? The new ones that the flagship new ones that they introduced. Like Tetranodon is going to have
Tetranodon doesn't have one then.
I'm sure he will.
Tetranodon, and
I'm sure
there's
Izuchi.
A couple more. Izuchi, yeah.
Izuchi, I don't know if they would, because he's like the beginning, like great Jaggy monster. But like Tetranodon, I could totally see having a subspecies that they haven't talked about. Also, Rachna Kadaki, I could see having a subspecies. I almost want to say that they always give a subspecies to the flagship new monsters of that game. I could be wrong, but that's the impression I've always had. So I mean, I'm
they did
fully
Angie,
expecting that to be the next.
They did Angie, Viper, Puke.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, they did. Was it all of them? I don't know if it was all of them now that I think about it.
I was going to say, the only ones that they don't do is the great ones, like Great Jaggy or Great Baggy or Great Jagras and stuff like that, because they really don't. They're not far enough in the game to really warrant getting a subspecies.
You'd expect to also get a subspecies of Agnaktor?
That's the iffy gray point, but it wouldn't surprise me. I think Agnaktor and Tetranodon and who else was there? Gasarag. I totally imagine they're going to have subspecies. And then as they release maybe 2 at a time, they'll probably talk about another returning monster. So I could easily see them announcing a good 3, at least another 6 to 8 monsters before release, talking about them.
I actually hope they don't. This was one of my favorite things about this presentation was that only 3 monsters. I'd be perfectly fine if they didn't do any of that. If they just straight up, nope, these are the monsters we're going to reveal, and the rest of it you have to discover in the game for yourselves. I think that would be much more interesting.
Again, I don't disagree with you, but I just you're either going to learn about it in a cool curated format by Capcom, or you're going to learn about it from someone on Twitter. So I would much rather learn about it from them. And also, like, I don't know what percentage, but I still think that there's probably a good amount of players who are, don't understand what massive expansion means.
Yep.
Especially on Switch, because they only started doing like the DLC type expansions with Iceborne, so to say. So there could be player confusion, and I think from a sales standpoint, it would be kind of dumb for them to not clearly state what the proposition is before it goes on sale.
But
you know what I mean?
They don't have to do that. Just refer them to my video. It's done. I already did all of the legwork. Like I did everything. You don't have to tell people about it. I already told people about it. Just tell them to go watch my video. That's what you got to do. Hey, listen, Rurikhan made a video that explains how much you can expect from these expansions really, really well, because we don't want to spoil these monsters. We don't want to exploit these monsters for you. How much spoil. How many monsters do you think we're going to be getting?
Well, I haven't even thought about.
I said a minimum of 20, but after looking at the numbers, because like, just out of curiosity, how many monsters do you think are in Monster Hunter Rise right now?
Oh, without looking?
Yeah, without looking.
Oh God, I without even thinking and trying to count them in my head, just like gut feeling, like how many do I feel they were in there?
Yeah.
I don't know, like 45.
That was really freaking close. That was very close.
Am I close?
It's 46.
Ooh. Wow, my gut feeling's pretty damn on.
Cause like I was thinking about this yesterday when I was I was doing this live in my video.
Damn! Imagine if I would have nailed it. Imagine if I would have said 46. That would have been awesome.
Damn! Yeah, it would have been cool. Damn. But I was thinking it's something in the lines of 36, 37, because I think it came out with. I seem to remember it came out with 31, if I'm not mistaken. And then I was thinking, okay, so it's probably going to be like 36, 37 with all the ones that were added. No, it's 46. I was like, wait, what? That's a lot. That's way more than I thought. That is insane. Yeah. But yeah, it's got a lot of monsters for sure.
I like that they mentioned that they will have the of course the expansions post launch.
The support,
because they mentioned it this time. I think they're going to tease who the first one is in the June.
You still think it's going to be our boy Gore?
I think it's a high possibility. Yeah. If I was their marketing manager, that's what I would do. Because that would generate so much damn buzz, not only on release date, but in the coming month or two before it comes.
Yeah.
It'd be perfect from a marketing standpoint to do that, I think.
So I've been thinking about, how I've been saying that Legiacrus is definitely going to be coming back.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think so anymore. He might, and I'd be happy if he did. But I think it would make a lot more sense if they bring Lagiacrus back when they reintroduce water combat, which is a high possibility for the next Monster Hunter game.
6?
Yeah, so I think that Lagiacrus will come back in the next Monster Hunter.
I mean, would you want him in this game, honestly, though,
Yes.
without swimming?
Yes.
He'd be on land.
Yes.
He would be a cakewalk with all this evasion and wire bugs. He'd be so easy.
No, listen, Gaijin, the answer as to whether or not I would like to see Lagiacrus...
Izuchi would be more powerful.
Listen, the answer as to whether or not I would like to see Lagiacrus is always yes. In any game. Yes, I would love to see Lagiacrus. Like, I'm playing Elden Ring. Would you like to see Lagiacrus? Yes.
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 Final Fantasy 14. Yes, I would like to see Lagiacrus.
Yes, I'd like to see Lagiacrus. The answer is always yes.
Okay, I like that answer. That's a good one.
But yeah,
I can respect that.
I don't think that is going to be I don't think that that's going to be a thing. Maybe we'll see.
I think
we'll see
I think the monster's too beloved to throw it in as a token. I think the environment needs to speak to it. I really think Underwater coming back is in like, next gen or current gen. Like Monster Hunter 6 I think would be perfect.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to see a flagship treated just like a token like that. So right now they're bringing in all the Fast and Furious boys like Astalos. Is his name in English? Sorry. This Japanese name is just too iconic. It comes out of the mouth.
You think we're getting the Fated 4?
Gammoth, hell no.
Gammoth is so hard.
That poor girl would get spanked so hard.
Gammoth is it always goes back to that. It's like, would Glavenus work? Yes. Astalos, definitely, it's already coming. Mizutsune definitely works. What do you do about Gammoth? Like,
Monster Hunter 6. Monster Hunter 6?
I don't know, but it would be cool for them to bring them all back, but they definitely have to do something special about Gammoth, and I don't know what that could be, because Gammoth will not compete with the mobility.
What I want them to do is, so like they took one of the Fated 4 and made it like sort of like not a flagship, but like a talking point for World, right? So Glavenus got the spotlight, and it even got a subspecies in Iceborne. I want to see a subspecies for Mizutsune in this game. Dude, because Mizutsune was very much
there's already Mizutsune, there's already Apex Mizutsune.
Apex,
you want another Mizutsune? Like, you're showing your bias here, okay? We're getting Glavenus, okay? I'm with Eric's on this one. We're getting Glavenus.
Oh, good God, no.
Yes.
He'd be a pushover.
Dude, Glavenus.
What's he going to do? He going to strike down his big tail? Oh, no, I'll just evade. Oh, I'll switch skills, swap, scroll, set, swap, switch. Evade out of that. Like, come on.
Glavenus is going to beat your face so hard.
He'd be a pushover.
Because it's not just going to be Glavenus, it's going to be Apex Glavenus, which is going to be Hellblade. Okay? He's going to come in with Blast. He's going to mess you up. You'll see. When he starts biting his tail and going like... he's going to destroy everyone, dude. It will end the world. Glavenus.
He just does spin to win. He just like becomes an Uragan and goes around the arena.
Glavenus goes like a helicopter. It's like Glavenus comes out onto the arena and you hear this theme song for Beyblade. It's Beyblade.
What's funny is I've never seen Beyblade, but when we play with our Monster Hunter dolls and we start flinging them, like we'll refer to them as Beyblade, even though all you just know is that Beyblades are spin. That's all I know. So
I've never seen Beyblade either. I've heard the theme song. That's all I know.
Spin to win. Yeah.
Spin to win. But another thing is, like I was telling you, dude, I am going to be playing it on PC. And the reason why is with the new setup that I've put, I now have my good PC in my house. So it's like I can just play it properly in my house. And on top of it, I bought a new monitor.
Ooh.
A 144 hertz monitor with variable refresh rate. And it's a small one.
Ooh.
It's a small one because I don't have a lot of room. So it's only 28 inch, which gives it
to look crisp.
Ridiculous pixel density.
What's the resolution? 1440?
No. 4K.
4K?
4K.
Okay, wow.
So it's 4K, 100 plus FPS. It's not running always at 144.
I was gonna say at that size though, you could do 1440p to get out max frame rates, and it would look gorgeous.
No, but it still looks gorgeous with the ridiculous pixel density. And the thing is, the variable refresh rate, which they call adaptive, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
That thing,
you're
it's
in the
like
AMD family.
It just feels so. It's just so good. Yeah,
what, FreeSync or?
Yeah, FreeSync on it is just friggin' gorgeous. And it's like, I'm in the AMD family, but I'll tell you right now, first chance I get, I have to get an NVIDIA. I hate it, but I need to do it because encoding on a single computer with an AMD GPU is terrible. Their streaming encoder is completely atrocious. It does a terrible job, and it's very not efficient. And with NVIDIA, it's just so much better. Which, again, I don't like NVIDIA, but when it comes to, streaming encoders and whatnot, and I wasn't aware of this, but they're just like so far ahead that it's not even a race. It's like AMD never even left the finish line. This is so bad.
But couldn't you just use like an Elgato 4K inside of the PC and just have that doing all the heavy lifting?
It doesn't do the encoding. Elgato will do the capturing, but it will not do the encoding. Ooh, the encoding has to be done by either CPU or GPU, the streaming encoding. So Elgato can capture stuff. And there's another issue with using the Elgato, which is I would lose variable frame rate. Because you have to clone your monitor and do all this other stuff, because the capture card will not do variable frame rate. It will get you 60. Yeah. It won't even do more than 140 hertz. It'll just like, hey, you want 60 hertz? And I was like, no, I bought this 144 hertz monitor. I don't want 60 hertz. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Give me my 144.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I've been working on the last couple of days, setting up all of that stuff, and it's finally in a workable position. But yeah, real quick recap before we sign off. How's everything going on in 14? Because I know you're probably dying to talk about it.
I'm dying to play it right now. Yun playing. She's farming for it. She's farming for a set, and I'm like looking over like a drug addict. Like, can I get
yeah, I can tell.
You know? I'm keeping like, what is she doing? But no, 14 is great. Like, it's been a few weeks since I talked about it here in the podcast, but Yuna got through the main story quest a while ago, and it only took her 5 weeks, which is crazy.
That is not healthy.
And yes, and she's watching all the cutscenes and stuff, so we're having a good time bonding and just falling in love with the game. We just bought the encyclopedias in Japanese. I already had them in English. We're just having a lot of fun with Extreme Hunts, so yeah, it's fun. I didn't realize I'm almost at 1,300 hours. So, yeah, that's why I haven't... I mean, that and also we haven't had a new Monster Hunter game yet. So that's why I haven't done many videos on my YouTube, because if I'm going to take a break from doing videos to, like, do something, playing my first... an MMO I actually really, really like, and doing it with my daughter, like, yeah, that's a good reason to take a break.
You're gonna be very refreshed when Sunbreak comes around, for sure.
But me and Yuna, I'm telling you, the first thing we said to each other after we saw the event for Monster Hunter was, how the hell are we going to balance this?
Yeah.
Because she's super excited for Sunbreak as well. We played a lot of that together, and we're kind of like, oh, how do we do Sunbreak and FF at the same time? And she has school, and I've got work, and obviously I'm a parent, so it's like there's not enough hours in the day. So I'm like, I'm a little scared. I do think that ultimately Sunbreak will take over most of our time, and like FF would be like the every other day get it in our fix.
Yeah.
So
that's eventually where you get to on a good MMO. You go into a thing which people call maintenance mode. It's just you've been working on all of the like old content, because the stuff that you're doing is not really current content. Because anybody that is just doing current content, they've probably been in maintenance mode for months, which basically means, I'll log in every now and then, do an expert roulette, do a little bit of raiding and whatnot, and then just, wait for the next patch. But yeah.
But I'm working on getting all my crafters up to 90.
That's such a waste of gil, and I gave you another 1,000,000 gil for you to waste on that stupid.
No, actually, I haven't lost much money on the armorer. The armorer stuff sells really well. Well, it's not really a lot. Well, you figure I'll hit 90 today, and that's I just started yesterday, right? So like, and I did alchemist in one day. That went from 1 to 90 in one day.
Jesus
Usually for a crafter, it takes, I'd say, if you do it smart, about 400,000 gil to power level in one day from 1 to 90. And that's playing it smart, like going on, checking out the market boards and all the different servers, making sure you're buying the right things, crafting it when it makes sense and stuff like that. Don't be abusing, use collectibles instead of leaves and stuff like that. The stuff for armor sells pretty good, so I've been able to not abuse the incredibly generous funds that you gave me. But the thing is like, am I just blowing money and not getting anything out of it? No. Like, I will be able to. You in the future, you'll be able to demand, hey, craft me this. Hey, fish me this, because I'll have everything max. I'll be able to do that. The thing that's going to kill my gil is once I get to the point where I need to make the best in set crafter set. That's going to be the killer.
That still sounds like a complete waste of gil. Because like I don't like crafting. I just do crafting for the beast tribes and whatnot. That's the only reason I do crafting and gathering. So yeah, I'm never gonna craft that stuff. I'm not even gonna bother with it.
And as much as I love our free company house and I'm gonna be taking care of it every day, like we do, I don't know if we can have a garden in it. And if not, I think I want to also have a house.
What do you mean
me and Yuna want to get into gardening, because that's where you get the real money.
We already have a thing to do gardening.
Where is it?
It's right next to the chocobo thing.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. I did not notice it.
So, it was one of the first things I told them to put in there is a gardening thing.
Are we harvesting the onions for chocobo levels or no?
I'm not doing anything because I've already said I don't know how to do any of this. It's just there. The garden is there, and we can put more gardens. But yeah, the garden's already there.
We'll take care of it.
That was,
but I'm loving it.
That was literally the first thing when we got the house. I told them, okay, somebody needs to buy a garden so that we can start doing this Thavnarian onions nonsense.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody's done it.
And then we put the garden there, and I was like, okay, now figure out how to do it, because I have no idea how to do any of this, but there's already a garden there. It's right next to the chocobo stable that nobody uses.
Wait, you can use a stable?
You can paint your chocobo with the stable.
I did not. Wow, I did not. I thought we were just all staring at, who's it, Altani's chocobo? I thought we were just looking at
Hollow's chocobo.
Hollow's, like, I did not know that.
You feed the chocobo berries of different colors. Like, have you never noticed that my chocobo is red?
I have not seen your chocobo. I would remember if I've seen your chocobo.
I've never seen your chocobo before in my life.
Yeah, what color did you paint your cock?
God damn it!
It's a bird.
It's a bird. It's not. It's a chocobo. Okay. But yeah,
whatever you want to call it, man.
I painted it Dalamud red. It's very good. It's very. I like the red color. But yeah, you can paint it all kinds of colors. It can be black, white, yellow is the default one, green, whatever you want. It's basically, the idea is you force feed him a bunch of different colored fruits, and you'll get it. I mean, there's no other way of saying it. You literally sit it down in a stable,
you're gonna get PETA on the stream. PETA gonna be like, "What's up at the Third Fleet podcast talking about force feeding birds?"
Force feeding chocobos.
Selective evolution. Come on.
What kind of what's it called? Friggin' what kind of eugenics operation you got running?
Yeah.
You crazy. What are you doing to these chocobos? They've done nothing wrong.
I'll have to figure out the rarest color you can get, and we'll have to.
No, it's not really a rarity thing. You think of it more as an RGB thing. Right? Depending on which fruits you feed it, you get a certain RGB color. But you need to look that stuff up online, because it's very, very specific. Like, you feed, let's say, I fed him the wrong fruit 10 times and now he's purple. Oops. So you got to be careful with that.
It's the old insect glaive system from Monster Hunter 4G.
Yeah, but you basically you can't use the chocobo while you're doing that, obviously. But yeah, you put the chocobo in there, you feed him a bunch of different colored fruit, and then he changes color after a certain amount of hours.
Fun. Well, stop feeding my addiction. Stop telling me new stuff to do.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you playing?
Because then there's no more Third Fleet podcast. I've been playing Monster Hunter Rise on PC. I basically boosted I boosted Q. Q plays on Switch, remember? He bought it on PC.
Yeah.
We boosted him to endgame in one day.
One day. both of me and you have issues.
No, but it's like he's already done everything on Switch, right? So we just, we got him in there.
So he just wanted to catch up?
Yeah, we wanted to catch him up on PC, so we boosted him up in one day. He's already got most of the stuff ready. He's just like fixing up the last little bits of his longsword set, and he's going to be pretty much good to go in like 1 or 2 days, and we're going to be just grinding for like decorations and stuff like that over the next couple of days so that we get all of that stuff set up. I'm also grinding some stuff for myself. I want to do sword and shield sets. I'm actually not sure if I'm going to be maining Gunlance in Sunbreak because of the amount of maintenance that you have to do with Ground Splitter. Because with Ground Splitter, right, now that you have switch skills, probably one of the most ideal ways to play is going to be Ground Splitter, then swap the switch skill, then do something else, and then Ground Splitter runs out, and then Ground Splitter again. And it's like, I don't know, dude. There's so much maintenance for such little gain. But then again, it does have that cool new move that I kind of want to see, so I'll have to check out if that is going to be a thing or not. But yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's been Rise. Okay. And I'm gonna be doing Elden Ring New Game Plus probably still before Sunbreak comes out because I hear that New Game Plus is gonna be real easy to go through. And I'm really with New Game Plus. I don't want to use Ashen Spirits, but I'm really gonna go all out with busting the game with really powerful weapons because you know how people keep saying that but Ashen Spirits break the game, and I'm just like, no, let me show you how you break the game, and I don't need no goddamn Ashen Spirits to do it. There's going to be something like that. I'm going to make a statement on New Game Plus, or maybe I'll get stomped. Who knows? Either way, it will be interesting.
That's crazy.
But yeah. So we will probably...
I have to give you a rare random fact before we call it. I was just looking for a thing. So if you were to have a blanding turtle lay an egg today.
The hell's a blanding turtle?
It's a type of turtle.
Why is it called blanding? No. Why is it called blanding? What?
Huh?
There has to be some kind of a logic to blanding. But why is it blanding? So weird.
I think the scientific name is weird. It's like
Blandigi
or something, but
Blandigi.
Anyways, it's a U.S. turtle. There's a turtle that if you were to have it lay an egg today, on or about the release date of Sunbreak,
it would hatch.
49 days. That's it. We're only 49 days out. That's crazy.
49 days out from Sunbreak. I can't wait. That's going to be good times.
I think around 40 days I'll start doing my weird countdown tweets like I usually do.
Number of hours and all of that stuff.
Number of all that. I'll try to be more creative this time and get really crazy with it.
Oh, man. But anyway, guys, next week we'll have more news for you with the reveals of, obviously, the weapon switch skills and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Exciting. But for now, that is going to be it for this week's episode of the Third Fleet Podcast. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, all that stuff. There's going to be links to all of Gaijin's stuff in the not the comment section, in the description of this video down below. We'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong, stay safe,
and stay healthy over 49 days and get ready for some fun.